Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Welcome back to Trackalicious Sim Racing. We are here at Summit Point Raceway for another night of iRacing fun in the third round of our mini series. Summit Point Motorsports Park, located in Jefferson County, West Virginia, about 2 hours west of Washington, D.C. Excited to see this racetrack. 10 turns, 2 miles, and the lap record of 1 minute and 4 seconds in a Formula Swift, or Formula Atlantic, I should say. And not the pace that these cars are going to be doing here in the GT3s today, but boy, do we have an exciting race for everybody tonight. Looks like we got 22 people on the server and gonna get this qualification going. 6 minutes, 25 seconds left. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome, Doc Milby, Logan Sargent fan. Hope everybody is doing well. Fun fact, there are 10 corners at Summit Point, and the last corner is called Paddock Bend. My fun facts are going to be relatively sparse, Logan Sargent. I apologize, but I will do my best to facilitate those redeems for you guys. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Hopefully my voice is coming through okay. Hopefully the stream's loading all right. And let's get going. Let's get to the track and see what these drivers are doing. Muff, thank you so much. Welcome. Thank you so much for the subscription. 25 months. That is almost a year, Muff. Appreciate the support. Long-standing support at that. Frog Dude, welcome. Welcome in. We are just towards the tail end of a 15-minute qualifying. 5 minutes left. The standings are lighting up. Cody Wassam in P1 right now has come in P2 in the last 2 races. So close. He's had the pace in both of them, but just hasn't had luck fall his way. Let's see. Adam Strange coming in with some info here. I'm not sure if I want to read that, Adam Strange. There's some words that I don't know the meaning to, but looks like we're talking about some prehistoric times, which is a bit parallel, a bit tangent to what we're doing here. So we're going to focus back on the racing. Again, Cody Wassam, 107.7, topping the time charts. And we're joined by Turner Johnson again. Bronson Turner, an old-time Trackalicious driver from the ACC days, now in the iRacing things. Star Wars stuff. Okay, you've out Star Wars'd me. I do have a bit of Star Wars knowledge, but I can't say that it's too in depth. Looking at some of the lovely liveries we have here out on the racetrack. Is it just me, or does iRacing look a little bit different today? Maybe it's just this particular map that we have, particular track setup we have. Turner Johnson, name that we've talked about quite frequently, has put in some incredible laps in the previous races, incredible efforts. So good to see him performing again at such a high level. P2 right now. And who do we have on the list here who are expecting to improve? Quite a few people out there without lap times as Turner Johnson decides to pull off. Let's have a look at Casey Schutte. Schutte was looking pretty phenomenal in the previous race, representing his native Indiana, the Hoosiers, as those car fans who are in the know. Indy hosting the PRI show over the next week or so. Really, really cool, fun car stuff happening in Indiana as Schutte seemingly losing the rear end with only 2 minutes and 19 seconds left to go. Without a lap time on the board, he's going to be eager. I think there's no lap time. At least it's not showing up in my timing charts here. Let's hop on board with another legend of the series, Jacob Cunningham in the Ford GT Classic Castrol livery here. Cunningham, an incredibly skilled driver, as we could see in his relatively high I rating. I think the third highest of everybody here. And no stranger to speed. But he has handicapped himself in this particular instance to try and give himself a little bit of a challenge in this series. Cunningham, known to be fairly dominant in some of the previous races we've put on, coming in with the Ford GT to make things a little more fun for himself. Miss Cizeron, hopefully I said that right. Hello, welcome. Practicing his pits. If you haven't heard Mike Noss say it enough, you can spend days and days and hours grinding lap times, but you can't gain nearly as much time as putting a couple of laps practicing pit entry and pit exit, folks. So if you haven't done so, probably wise to do so. Robert Brunner putting on a show for us last time around at Daytona. Looks like he's got potentially some rear damage. Or is that just my eyes deceiving me? Let's see Mr. Brunner's performance here. Trying to lock in. Goes through the first turn here at Summit Point. Through Wagons Bend. Couple of gears down. Up the hill into the chute. Turn 4. Evie Gardner turn. And then managing the throttle into the carousel. Turn 6, 7, and then the right-hander of 8 coming up here. Second to last corner as he's wrangling this Corvette. Understeers a little wide, will lose some time, unfortunately, in one of the most critical corners of the track. And decides to practice his pit entry. Well, 0 seconds left. No improvement for Brunner there. Couple more cars on track. Car number 11, if we can find who that is. 13 and 18. Oh, I think that's just 11th position. So we're still learning our overlay controls here, folks. Kevin Bolland trying to complete the last little bit of their lap here. 11th position so far. Looking to make an improvement. And does so. Gains a position over Ray Frias. Does he? No, he doesn't. I'm sorry. Again, eyes deceiving me. Well, folks, looks like that is likely the end of our qualifying session. Unless Kyle McDonald just wrapping it up here. Lovely new livery from Kyle McDonald. I know he just put a lot of effort into getting that fresh livery up on the race here. And we are about to get gridded up. We know that there is random weather here today. It's not fixed. There's possibilities of rain, and I know we've seen it in our practice sessions. So not quite sure how this is going to turn out for everybody. Looks like it's sunny out there as we start seeing some of the cars gridding up. Into our race session, a 1 hour session. And absolutely, thank you, Neil. Perfect segue. And there is a randomly timed safety car that comes out. It has been an incredible thing to be witness to here on the stream. We've had so much fun seeing some great changes between race leaders in the previous races that we've had at Daytona and Navarra before that. Navarra ended up being an incredible race, really exciting. The safety car bunching everybody up and change in lead, change in positions. Ended up being a fantastically fun race to watch. 22 people on the grid. Let's try and see if we can have a look here and go through the grid and see who we have on the field as we get ready to get the race started. We have in P1 position Cody Wassam trying to take that maiden win in the series, coming in second twice in a row. Turner Johnson in P2, Bronson Turner in P3, Adam King taking the fourth spot. We have Casey Schutte in P5, Joshua Willis in P6, Chase Wright coming in P7, our race 1 winner. They have Jacob Cunningham in P8, Glenn Pinio in P9, Jacob Church 10, McDonald 11, Ballin 12, Frias 13, Olajiegbe 14, Brunner 15, Pieko 16, Teixeira in 17, in 17, Nagera in 18, as we're about to start the lap here. Sadowski 19, 20 in Tomazic and Nagera in 22 here, and the race has begun. Looks like our timing charts are already being confused, but looks like Bronson Turner has taken the advantage up a position. Great stop for Turner. Apologize for missing the start of the race there, but looks like Cody Wassam in a pretty strong lead, getting a great start as he would want to have had, trying to see if he can get that maiden victory in this championship. Bronson Turner getting a great start now up into P2. Turner Johnson now in P3. That is going to be confusing to say for the whole race, but hope that they stick together. The pack pretty tight behind. Joshua Willis still not maintaining, up 2 positions, up into 4th place from his 6th position start. Running that Taco Bell livery in that McLaren. Casey Schutte looking all right, having lost a position, but I'm sure is going to be wanting to lead the charge and make those positions back up as we go through the race here. Everybody looking fairly clean down the field here. Kevin Bolland, a bit of a gap between him and the drivers ahead and behind. Looks like Michael Pieko, quite tight here, chasing down Ray Frias. Ray, a veteran of iRacing, but Pieko putting in a lot of pressure on the straight here as we go into lap 2. Pieko looking on the inside, too wide, too deep. Both attempting overtakes. Kyle McDonald and and Michael Pieko both not able to accomplish the task, but they're gonna look at it again, I'm sure. Looks like we've had a situation. Bolland, what happened? Making a mistake? Is that an error with somebody else, or just on his own a little bit too early on the throttle? Loses it into the gravel and the grass on the outside there. Getting really safe rejoin. Appreciate the conservative nature of that rejoin, and we do have another mistake from the Porsche driver here. Teixeira and down to P19. Looks like Schutte is in a situation. Schutte into the wall. Schutte into the wall. What happened here? Was that an error for himself, or did something else happen? Again, too early on the throttle. Cannot catch it. A bit of a bump into the tire barrier over there. That is going to be huge for Schutte. We know he's got the pace, but just coming to grips with the nature of iRacing, he just hasn't settled in yet. Looks like Saratsky and Tomazic going wheel to wheel. Tomazic getting the better of Saratsky. Tomazic ahead up into P15 in that bright blue Mercedes, leaving the Tabasco Corvette in the dust. I'm sure Saratsky going to come back at a later time. Cody Wassam still in the lead. We have Olajiegbe. Huge challenge here in the Ferrari, being held back by Pieko and McDonald. A bit of a train being formed here in lap 3. in our 1 hour race. Again, there's a random safety car that's going to get deployed, that's going to shake things up. So do not give up, those of you who have made that Spinnerella. Make sure that you put your head down, come back, and we're going to see way more racing from these folks side by side. Olajigbe looking on the inside of McDonald. McDonald going wide. A bit of gravel is going to slow him down. Olajigbe makes that move work, now in the lead, but Brunner is not going to let him have it. Brunner coming in to try and make that move himself. Makes the pass on Kyle. Looking at Olajigbe. 3 wide potentially. Brunner mind punting Olajigbe wide. Makes him think about it twice. Doesn't actually make contact, I don't think. No, doesn't look like he does, and does the job. Makes it stick. Brunner now up into P11. Fantastic work by these drivers. Nagara here. Oh, and the spin. Was there contact there? Big crash by Suratsky. What happened? Side by side, Suratsky and Nagara going into, oh no, in a rear quarter tap. Sending Suratsky all the way to the back. That is, one might say, a spicy bit of contact. And I'm sure that's going to get looked at by the stewards after the fact, as we have the rest of the grid come through as Suratsky rejoins the track. Incredible racing so far at only 5 laps in. What is happening up front here? Cody Wassam still in the lead. P1 in the 188 car, and the milk asymmetric livery here. Bronson Turner, Turner Johnson, P2, P3 respectively, keeping Cody honest, keeping him thinking, keeping him under pressure. How are these cars going to behave? You tell me. For those of you who are in chat, who are more well versed in what the cars are capable of in iRacing, which of them are better on their tires, which of them are faster in the straights? I am unfamiliar and would love to learn from you guys, as Cody Wassam under immense pressure here by Bronson Turner and the rest of the grid for that matter. Turner Johnson just behind. Joshua Willis in P4, really keeping up with the pack. A newfound pace. Josh had been having been a little bit farther down in the grid in the previous races, looking like he's found some pace for this particular occasion. We have several packs being formed here. P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, relatively close to each other in the rest of the field, trying to catch up, and catch up they will once we have the random safety car deployed. Again, here we have Cody Wassam in P1. Bronson Turner taking the fastest lap in with a 108.1, a 10th faster than anybody else. Doing a fantastic job here. Never mind, actually, Turner Johnson very close. Incredible pace. Cody Wassam seemingly the slower car of the three, but being in the front, that is the one who keeps the pace. That's the one who decides how things happen around here. It's one thing to be able to hot lap a track, but for those of you who have been around, those of you who've been racing, it's a totally different thing to make an overtake happen at the track. And from what I hear, Summit Point is an incredibly difficult track to overtake at. The straights just don't seem quite long enough for the cars behind to be able to take that draft advantage. Again, Bronson Turner, the gradient livery, a man after my own heart, as those of you who know, you know. Bronson Turner making a mistake going quite wide, giving Turner Johnson an opportunity, having a look. McLaren on McLaren action, no advantage in machinery, going on the inside, ducking on the outside. Does he have enough braking courage to make that overtake work? No, looks like he goes a little bit farther wide, but still there, still gonna have to make Bronson Turner think about what's going on. Again, weaving left and right, trying to make Bronson look behind and take his attention away of what is going on just ahead of him. Lovely little battle going on here. Let's keep our eyes on this one. Why don't we actually jump into the car with Turner Johnson right in here, doing a fantastic job applying immense amounts of pressure to Bronson Turner just ahead as we make our way into the third sector of this track. Turner Johnson tentative on the throttle, thinking about when he wants to attack. Now onto the straight, getting a really good exit out of turn 9, looking on the inside, erring on the side of caution. Knows that there is tons of racing left, ladies and gentlemen, as we have 52 minutes remaining in this race and a random safety car. Another possibility for them to take advantage. Another strategy could be that Turner Johnson trying to remain smart, maybe doing some fuel saving. maybe tucking in behind, using less fuel as Bronson Turner have a wiggle exit of turn 1 there. Again, I appreciate Turner Johnson's patience here. Incredibly wise, just looking for the opportunity. But one of the things we do have to pay attention to is that while these two are battling, it is giving Cody Wassam the opportunity to build a gap, as there is now 1.8 seconds between P1 and P2 as these cars continue to battle. It is Porsche to McLaren, to McLaren, to McLaren, and the Ford Mustang topping off the top 5 over here. Looks like we have another incident. Olajiegbe having into what happened. Looks like Brunner, deep send, big send for Robert Brunner. That wasn't quite there. I'm not quite sure. Was it Brunner? I'm not quite sure. An orange Corvette may have been somebody else, but that was quite an optimistic send. I'm not quite sure whether that was a good move or not, but again, having stewarding in this series, we're gonna have to have a look after the race. A little bit of bumping and banging between Jacob Church and Michael Piecco here. Or is that Joe Falls? It is Joe Falls, but Jacob Church does manage to make the move in the Busch Light Ferrari here, now up into P15. Absolutely phenomenal. Again, 9 laps in, 50 minutes remaining in the race, and we have yet to see our random safety car pop up. Steven Tomazic now in the bright blue zero gas Mercedes chasing down Robert Brunner. And I do apologize, it wasn't Robert Brunner that had the tap with Olajiegbe. That must have been someone else, very likely Piecco or Saratsky in another orange Corvette. But here we have it, Tomazic now chasing down Robert Brunner behind each other, and Glenn Pinio up into P9. And as I just glance up, we have an incredibly tight battle up top still, with Cody Wassam getting a purple lap of 108.116, and then Bronson Turner just taking it by 1,000th of a second, 108.115. He says, oh, you think you can do it? Well, I think I can do it better. Incredible. Incredible. Look at this racing, and we have another fun fact redeemed. Let's try to get you some information about Summit Point. Fun fact that Summit Point used to be called Jefferson Circuit. I think that's a part of what Wikipedia is telling me. Those who know better than me can correct me. Runs major events like the Atlantic Championship, the 12 Hours at the Point, and the IMSA GT Championship. It has run the IMSA GT Championship in the past. With all those having been said, back to the racing. What did I miss? Oh, I did miss something. What happened to Brunner? I looked down for a second. Tomazic. Oh no! No! A bit of contact between Brunner, Tomazic, and I'm not quite sure who the other person was. Might have been Ray Frias. That is unfortunate. Brunner now with a bit of damage in the back. Tomazic's ambitions getting overgrowing his braking ability, seemingly. Again, something for the stewards to look at. Here we are up into the top group again. Looks like Bronson Turner has found some magic pace, getting ahead, and now 0.9 seconds between himself and Turner Johnson. Turner Johnson under a lot of pressure from Joshua Willis. McLaren on McLaren, no machinery advantage here, but what livery is going to win as Josh gets pretty close to that diffuser. Fortunately, no net code there. Teixeira now making a move on Glenn Pinio on the Mustang. Teixeira on the inside going into T1. Not quite, not enough. Lovely little livery there. Loving the little palm tree transition between the orange and the black. Ladies and gentlemen, again, hope everybody is doing well. We are at Summit Points, and Teixeira dipping the tires into the sand on the entry, but managing to catch it. What a phenomenal save by Henrique Teixeira. Wow, great save. Let's look to the grid here. What do we have going on? Looks like Cody Wasson commanding lead, 1.9 seconds over Bronson Turner in P2. Turner, a little bit of breathing room to the car behind us. Turner Johnson in another McLaren, followed by Joshua Willis in the Taco Bell livery. Looks like they're keeping pretty decent pace to the cars ahead. P5, we have Adam King, who seems to have found some pace in the Mustang. P6, our race one winner, Jace Wright, in an island of his own a little bit, but being chased down by Jacob Cunningham in that lovely Castro livery Ford GT. We have some room to Ray Frias in the Mustang, another Mustang, the Cobra Jet Black Mustang here. Ray definitely in an island of his own, trying to find some pace. Brunner leading the next pack ahead of what seems to be the 9th place, the 11th place, sorry, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, all in a pack. There is a bit of a gap between Brunner, McDonald, and the rest, but not that much. The slightest of mistakes could mean a change in position. And we have Kyle P. McDonald in the KPM Racing McLaren here. A new livery, loving the bright yellow contrast with the rest of the livery. Glenn Pinio in the Mustang in P11, chased down by Jacob Church, both having lost 2 positions from the start. Biggest gainer, Robert Brunner, up 6 positions. Ray Frias up 5 positions. Steven Tomazic up 8 positions from his starting spot. Michael Pieko in the Corvette being challenged by our biggest gainer, Steven Tomazic. Tomazic has been doing a good job of applying a lot of pressure to the cars ahead and is continuing to do so. Neil, yeah, I think it is. I think that's the new debris update that we've seen in iRacing. Kind of adds a cool little flavor with the gravel on the track. Makes it look that much more realistic. Tomazic chasing down Pieko. Pieko under the pressure. Is he going to be able to handle it? And Tomazic doesn't have the luxury of being able to just pay attention ahead, as he does have the McLaren just behind of Kevin Bolin, applying huge amounts of pressure. Bolin sending it, trying to stick it on the inside, does manage to do so. Is Tomazic still on the outside? Did that move work? Let's have a look. Tomazic having to tuck back behind Bolin there. Great move. The early part of the track there, as we have some gravel kicking up to the driver behind here. This train, incredible. Oh, looks like Turner Johnson has made a move on Bronson Turner. When did that happen? It looks like we have a position change. Bronson Turner back into P3 now. Turner Johnson up into the P2 spot. At some point in time, there must have been a mistake by Bronson Turner, making these guys so close to each other again. As we have Turner Johnson again up into P2, but the pack behind still pretty tight. Now they're coming into some lap traffic. I think that's Joe Falls. But as they do that, there is a big challenge here between Ballin and Pieco. Pieco looking on the inside, Ballin a little wide, not enough to make Pieco or allow Pieco to make the move back. I think that was an overtake by Ballin there. Because Ballin has been charging through the field. Down a couple of positions, down a position from his starting point. And I think there was an issue that we saw earlier on in the race where Ballin dropped down several positions due to an error. Now chasing those positions back. Biggest gainers again, Steven Tomazic with 7 positions, Gabe Brunner 6 positions, Ray Frias 5 positions, all the way up into P8. Biggest loser, Casey Schutte, 13 positions lost, but still in it. And still waiting on that random safety car to pop up. 40 minutes and 50 seconds left in the race. We are already 17 laps in. With a 1 minute 8 second lap time. These laps have been churning quite quickly. Pieco, I think, starting to lose the back end of Ballin's car. As Ballin continues to look ahead, try to charge and see if he can catch Jacob Church. You know what? I think I'm mistaken. Pieco actually maintaining a really close gap. It was 0.4 of a second, got dropped down to 0.2, and Pieco not laying down, not taking it, not going to accept this overtake. Continuing to attack, continuing to charge at Ballin here. Yeah, incredible battle between Ballin and Pieco. Super tight here for 13th position. Pieco doing a really good job holding, even though there must have been a mistake at some point in time for Pieco to have been overtaken by Ballin, but maintaining the ambition, keeping close, continuing to battle. No spirit broken here. We'll touch base with them a little bit further down in the race. Cunningham and Jace Wright still bumper to bumper here. So close. Cunningham doing everything he possibly can. You know, I don't know. How does everyone feel about this car? There's something... It does seem a little dated, but this datedness about it has this charm. I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't know if I'm supposed to like it, but I do kind of like it. Being a Dodge person myself, having a lap redeemed by Neo Kabuki here. Oh, and the safety car is out. And the safety car is out, ladies and gentlemen. Neil, I'll hit you up with that lap later on in the race. But here we have it. Now we're gonna be able to see, as everybody starts to bunch up, what happens. This is the fun part, ladies and gentlemen. This is where I got super excited. Are they going to have their tires turned on or off? Are they going to forget to add fuel? Are they going to mess up the pit stops? What is going to happen here? This is where some luck is involved. Maybe some luck, maybe some skill, some attentiveness. As everybody starts bunching up, giving the opportunity for some of the cars farther behind to catch up. As we try to All right. Again, nice little leisurely lap behind the safety car. 36 and 36 left in the race. Not quite sure how the lapped car works here, but looks like there is a car between Cody Wassam and Turner Johnson. Now, Turner Johnson, Bronson Turner electing to go to the pits, but not Wassam. Interesting. Interesting bit of strategy. What is going on here? Alrighty, looks like we have a clear definition of who has gone into the pits and who has not. Cody Wassam, Joshua Willis, Ray Frias, as the lapped car gets to unlap. Cars get to unlap themselves now. Cody Wassam, Josh Willis, Ray Frias, Michael Pieko, and Casey Schutte electing to remain out. Now we know Casey Schutte had a situation before. Is this going to play to his favor in that maybe he pit earlier? I'm not quite sure. But who do we have coming out? So looks like Bronson Turner gets a phenomenal pit stop, comes out way ahead of Turner Johnson. Turner Johnson must have had a situation as he is now 2 cars behind Bronson Turner. How did that happen? That is going to be immensely detrimental to his race here, as he's going to have so much overtaking to do, unfortunately, as we have the lapped cars now making their way around, trying to catch up to the safety car, bringing everybody back up to pace, back up to the lead lap. Hope everybody is doing well out there. Hello, the little meow meow. Welcome. Let's go 81. Who are we cheering for? Bronson Turner. And what is your relation to said Mr. Turner? A little meow meow. Who is it that is cheering for Mr. Bronson? Bronson looking like he's in a pretty good spot. Oh, Richie. Sure, for you, anything. For the stream, for the gram, for the follows. Little meow meow. Welcome, Richie Millie. Thank you so much for the follow. Hope you are doing well. Oh, and looks like we missed a tip from Jacob Church. Huge. Thank you so much. One bigly. Appreciate it. All that support. Safety car still out. And they're starting to line up, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to go racing again. Josh Willis, Cody Wassam in the front row. Wassam controlling things. Just his biggest fan, aka his wife. That is very nice. Well, welcome, wife. Welcome, Miss Turner. Hope you're doing well. Lovely to see the fan base here supporting significant others, as I have my lovely lady here. Well, she was next to me a second ago, as one of our kids looks like had come down and crying about something, so she wanted to take care of that, being the legend that she is. But folks, this is it. This is the lap where the safety car is going to come in. Everybody going 2x2. There's been some controversy about this 2x2 formation. Some people complaining that, you know, on the restart you don't go 2x2, but alas, here we are. These are the cards that we have been dealt. What's the prediction, Richie Millie, for this race, bro? Which drivers are hot? You know what? We have Cody Wassam that has come in P2. That's the black and white milk car, the Porsche that we have here. He has come in P2 in the last 2 races, but has had the pace in hand to potentially take P1. Now, can he do it in this race? He has led every single lap. Is he good? Excuse me. It doesn't matter how many laps you lead, ladies and gentlemen. It matters who leads the very last lap. Who leads when they cross the finish line. And Joshua Willis is looking quite eager to try and put a challenge, an immense challenge, to Cody Wassam, as Wassam now gearing up, the adrenaline rushing through everybody's veins here, controlling the start, and there he goes, pedal to the metal, gets Josh off the line, catches him sleeping a little bit. Josh Willis tucks in behind Cody Wassam, and Ray Frias right behind Willis. Ray looking on the inside, but looks like Cody Wassam is going to maintain that P1 position. Frias coming in P3. Pieco thinking about it as well on the outside. Let's have a look at what's going on between these two, but it looks like Ray Frias does manage to gain that position. And to add to that, I think another one to look out for is Bronson Turner. Turner has made an incredible move in pitting and has maintained incredible pace to the P1 car, having been through a lot of challenges in the first half of this race from Turner Johnson. So Bronson Turner, another one to look out for, I think. Oh goodness, watch out, ladies and gentlemen. We have 2 misses in chat. Once they combine their powers, we are all in big trouble. As we are back here, as I put my attention back onto the grid here, as I fear for my life, as our wives start chatting with each other and combining their ultimate powers to overtake the world. Cody Wassam still in first place. Pieco challenging Ray Frias, staying tight, but not quite there yet. Looks like Was is building a gap ahead of him. Bronson Turner is going to want to make these moves, overtake these cars as quickly as possible to try and go and chase down Cody Wassam before he gets too far ahead. Looks like we have some battles behind. No, there's someone still in the pits, having made a late pit here. Tight battles between McDonald, Brunner. The cars all bunched up as we like to see them. Cunningham on the charge, only 0.2 seconds. This is a neat little battle, neat little group here. Schutte, Cunningham right, Turner Johnson. Turner, we know, has the pace, so he's going to be looking to try and make some moves ahead. Looks like there was something in the pits for Turner Johnson here that held him back. Turner Johnson tucking in, trying to get as much draft as possible, but looks like Jacob Cunningham has the same idea. Now looking on the inside of Jace Wright, not quite sufficient overlap. Now compromising his exit speed. Turner Johnson is going to be wanting to overtake, try to gain advantage of the battle happening ahead, but not quite enough. Again, Jacob Cunningham, a very skilled driver, quite a bit of experience. Looks like Schutte's making a move as well. Challenging Ray Frias. So many battles here. Trying to figure out which ones to pay attention to. Frias has lost some positions, down into P5. Josh Willis still in P2. Pieco up into P3. Bronson Turner into P4 now, and is going to want to make that overtake happen. That next overtake, really unwind and go chase Josh Willis and Cody Wassam, trying to make that win come into fruition. But is he going to be able to do it? Does he have the pace? Does he have enough time? We will have to wait and find out, as there are loads of battles happening here. Looks like there's 2 cars, Schutte and Jace Wright. Jace Wright looking on the inside of Schutte, does make it happen. Turner Johnson on the inside of Jacob Cunningham, does not make it happen. Johnson tucking back in. Schutte now looking to get his position back from Jace Wright. Jace Wright, the winner of race 1, making that move stick. up into P6 now with 26 minutes left in this third race of this season at Summit Point here at West Virginia. Ray Frias under a lot of pressure now from the train behind. Jace Wright, known to be quite impatient at times, but has wise enough. Schutte losing the car in the exact same spot as before. And that is a return to garage. Unfortunately, my goodness, that it hasn't come to grips with this thing. I know he's got it in him. We know Schutte to be an incredibly quick driver, but the Indiana native representing the Hoosiers just doesn't seem to have come to grips with the race here, with the physics of iRacing. Needs a little bit more practice to understand the relationship between the throttle pedal and the grip between the tire and the pavement. And the one who does know that relationship seemingly quite well is Bronson Turner, tucking in behind Michael Pieko. Turner Johnson really eager to push forward, make this pass happen as we go into the carousel on the back end of the track. Turner Johnson is going to be super eager to make this pass work as his competitors, Joshua Willis and Cody Wasem, are leaving him in the dust, literally in the dust, as we now have dust kicking up in iRacing. John Wad, welcome. Hope you are doing well. As we have some exciting racing. We have had exciting racing and more exciting racing. 24 minutes and 55 seconds of exciting racing to come yet. Hope you're doing well, John. Hope everybody in chat's doing well. And Bronson Turner looking on the inside, a huge send in the McLaren, but goes deep. Now Michael Pieko looking on the inside. Is he going to lose one spot? Loses a spot, loses the second spot, and now having to tuck back in behind Ray Frias. Ray taking advantage of the really opportunistic move there. And that is a position loss for Bronson Turner. His patience or lack thereof getting the better of him. Now Jace right on his tail. Ooh, that was really close from Ray Frias to Michael Pieko. Pieko leading this pack, trying to find the pace, but looks like he is the slow car at the head of this train. Not to say that he's slow, but looks like the cars behind have some pace, but his patience and his racecraft has been giving him the advantage, has been in his favor, let's say, as Pieko continues to maintain that P3 position. Really ambitious move by Bronson Turner. Unfortunate for little Meow Meow here to see her husband make that heroic move and just not pay off, but there are plenty of laps left. I am sure we're going to be seeing more of Bronson Turner as he continues to use the pace that he has to try and find some more positions in the remainder of this race. But one person who's not looking to make any changes in position, I can assure you, is Cody Wasem in P1. He has not pitted yet. I'm not sure if a pit is mandatory or not, or he's going to need to, considering that he's led most of the race. I'm not sure if he's been doing any fuel saving or if fuel saving is even required to have been made, but he is the highest ranked racer in the grid right now. He is the highest position driver in the grid right now, and he is representing that black and white milk car well as he continues to build a gap between himself and Joshua Willis. Joshua Willis in P2, a phenomenal performance from him so far, having been a little bit lower in the field in the previous two races. As we take a second to catch a little bit of a sip and a break, let's honor the onboard lap with Jacob Cunningham that was requested earlier, and it's probably a good spot to do so, as well as Cunningham under immense pressure from the driver behind. Looking ahead, really skilled driver Jacob Cunningham. Phenomenal to be able to put this Ford GT into P6 and maintain that position and continue to challenge the rest of these skilled drivers. Welcome, 6ismo Gizmo. Oh, did I get that right? I always I get super excited about maybe potentially getting these Twitch nicknames handles right. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone is enjoying the race so far, as we are 40 minutes or 39 minutes into this 1 hour race. Our random safety car has come out. We have seen some changes in the field, and Turner Johnson sending it into the last corner and managing to make it stick. And that is a move that I'm sure he's been planning for quite a few laps. Incredible driving by all of these individuals. We have seen some bumping and banging, which isn't necessarily the thing we want to see all the time, but boy, does it bring excitement to the racing. Richie Billy. I almost read that one out loud, but I'm gonna leave your comments to stay in chat. But that's funny. Oh goodness. Oh, I love a good laugh. But here we are on board with Jacob Cunningham, as he is in P7, having lost that position to Turner Johnson. Turner Johnson turning it up to 11 as he just absolutely obliterates this lap, making up immense time with 1.1 second gap in less than a lap to Jacob Cunningham. Let's hop back on to see what's going on in the race. This gap ahead, or this battle ahead, we have Ray Frias now in the lead of this group of cars. Bronson Turner again eager to make a move happen, as now they're 6 seconds behind the remainder of the cars. Looks like Pieco has pitted potentially and dropped down the field down into 16th place. Bronson Turner ducked in, but not quite enough. Huge amount of curb. That was a scary moment for a second there, but managed to maintain control of his car, as now looks like Jace Wright is trying to put the pressure onto Bronson Turner. Bronson Turner wanting to make this move happen so bad, sends it earlier on in the race, but just couldn't make it stick. And that was the opportunity that Ray Frias needed, the little bit of window that Ray Frias needed to get his position. And Ray Frias now ducking into the pits, releasing Bronson Turner to go and chase down 6 seconds of gap to the cars ahead, P1 and P2. And that is going to be an opportunity for Turner Johnson to have a look at Jace Wright. Jace Wright keeping behind Bronson Turner, though. That's going to be a huge amount of draft that Turner Johnson chooses not to take, and that is the reason why he will stay behind the skilled Jace Wright. Bronson Turner now up into P1. What? Cody Wassam into P10. What happened? Did he have to pit? I am so confused, but meow meow, like we said, we just never know what's going to happen until it happens. And you have the hubby, the man, Bronson Turner, Mr. Turner, up into P1 with only 18 minutes left in the race, and he is starting to build a gap to the P2 position of Jace Wright. Turner Johnson, I'm sure, will not want to let this lay. He's going to want to chase. He's going to want to make that overtake happen. We've seen some incredible driving and racing from Turner Johnson in the past. Is he going to be able to make a miracle out of nothing here and make that move happen? Turner Johnson still behind Jace Wright. Jace Wright, again, skills of his own, winning the first race of this series. In P2 now. What is going to happen? This field has turned upside down. Cody Wassam, having led so many laps, is in P10 now, all the way down into P10. Spady Bud, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. 6 months, that is almost a whole year. Let's go, Casey Schutte. Casey Schutte, unfortunately, having been in a couple of situations, but loving the spirit of the Hoosier there, back on track, chasing down Kevin Bolland just ahead. Well, ahead in position, at least. That's a pretty big gap to the car ahead, chasing down 17th, chasing down 16th position. Yeah, looks like it is. Welcome, Jury6 TTV, maybe, if I pronounced that correctly. Hopefully I got that right. If not, would love for you to correct me on that one, as we have almost a quarter of the lap or the race remaining. Bronson Turner in P1, coming up to some lap traffic. Music to Jace Wright and Turner Johnson's ears. Lap traffic. Always a possibility of a situation happening, and something that I'm sure Bronson Turner is going to be wanting to make quick work of and pass as quickly as possible and move on ahead. Focus on corners as opposed to traffic. Lovely livery again. I love Bronson's taste, his skill in livery making and design work overall. Pretty cool. Ooh, that's going to be a pretty big holdup for Bronson. I think that's potentially Scott Saratsky, but that little holdup is going to be a huge opportunity for Jace Wright. Jace Wright tucking right behind, and this gap has just closed up to effectively nothing. Jace Wright right behind Bronson Turner. Turner Johnson right behind Jace Wright. Incredibly tight racing here between the top three. Unbelievable. Folks, we have so much racing to go. Jacob Cunningham just behind us, putting a lot of pressure onto Adam King, the other King at Trackalicious Sim Racing. And look at this. Robert Brunner up 9 positions into P6, now chasing down Jacob Cunningham. That is awesome. Awesome. Steven Tamazic in chat. What you doing, Steven? You supposed to be in the race. And while Steven answers that question in detail, we continue to watch Robert Brunner here applying pressure on to Jacob Cunningham. An American on American rivalry here. Sterling Heights versus Dearborn, Michigan. And Robert Brunner, I'm sure, is going to be locked in. Huge amount of focus. He is managing to do a good job of closing down the gap between himself and Cunningham. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that, and I am sure that your patiently filed incident report will be kindly reviewed by the stewards here at Trackalicious Sim Racing, because murdering is something that we do not appreciate a lot of, although we have to say that, you know, racing is racing. A lot of the times it does happen. As long as people are really nice about it in the community, we will continue to race and continue to advance our skills and look forward to the improvements every corner we can make. But improvements isn't something that is available for Bronson Turner. There is nothing that you can improve about the P1 position. And P1 is where he's going to want to stay. He's going to want to get by all of the lap traffic as quickly as possible, as he's facing quite a few now, and makes quick work of that Mustang, of that Simicube Mustang, which I think is Glenn Pinio. Now managing to build himself quite the gap between himself, Jace Wright, and Turner Johnson. And what he wants to happen here, he wants a bit of a gap. What he wants is he wants Turner Johnson and Jace Wright to fight. and he wants them to send it on each other, and he wants them to slow each other down, and he wants them to be held back by traffic, and he wants all of that for another 12 minutes as you see a big mistake by Jace Wright. And is that going to be an opportunity for Turner Johnson to make a move? Not quite enough. And he does save himself from losing a position there, Jace Wright, as Bronson Turner continues to lead the charge. The first lead change that we've seen all race. Cody Wasem has managed to maintain the lead of the race. But like we said, it doesn't matter how many laps you lead. It doesn't matter for how long you lead it. All that matters is when it comes to the final lap that you are the one leading it when you cross the finish line. And at this point in time, it looks like Bronson Turner is the one that's going to be doing that. Nope, that is not true. We actually have Bronson Turner, Jace Wright, Turner Johnson, Adam King, Cunningham, Brunner. They have all already pitted. They pitted earlier. They pitted right behind the safety car, and I'm frankly baffled. I do not understand why Cody Wasem chose not to pit again. Jace Wright going wide into the transition between the first and second sector. A couple of more of these mistakes, and it's going to be a position loss for Jace Wright as they continue to battle. And talking about battling, Adam King being held up just a little bit here. Oh, that is going to be a big loss for King in terms of time, but does manage to get through onto the back straight as Jacob Cunningham optimizes his exit. Now ducks out of the draft, trying to maximize or minimize the time lost behind Lampinio here. Brunner seems to have lost some time to Cunningham. It was much closer earlier, but now 1.5 seconds behind. But who is not losing time? I'm curious. Was that another off track for Jace Wright? Jace Wright just I mean, I guess use what you paid for, I suppose, right? Yet again going wide. That might have been from earlier, but Jace Wright only 0.3 of a second as we see the sun blaring on these guys. Bronson Turner still in P1, but only half a second advantage to Jace Wright and Turner Johnson. So it is no time to relax, Bronson. No time to relax. The boss lady, the love of your life, Mrs. Turner, is watching and waiting for the inaugural attendance and win of Bronson Turner's iRacing Trackalicious career. No pressure. Jace Wright seems to have found some pace, but again, as we mentioned earlier, it's not just about pace. You got to have the racecraft as well. You got to have the sensibility. You got to know when and where and how to overtake. And at this point in time, Bronson Turner is the one who is in command of this track right now, being ahead of the other two. It'll take a mistake from him to really change this up. But if he is able to maintain focus, maintain consistency, put his head down and try to maybe even back up Jace Wright to Turner Johnson to apply pressure onto Jace Wright, he is going to be the one taking the top step. Only 7 minutes and 51 seconds remaining. Is that enough? Does he have enough in the tank to make this happen? We will only find out with several laps remaining, as we've completed 43 laps already here at Summit Point. This battle continuing to be incredible. Looking down the field, looks like Ray Frias has dropped down all the way to 13th position, chasing down Thiago Nogueira. Cunningham now looking at making some moves on Adam King. Adam King wide here. Cunningham looking on the inside, now being on the outside of the next turn, sends it, but doesn't isn't able to make it stick. King able to make it stick on the inside. Cunningham looking back, getting back onto the line. No, looking on the inside, chooses not to, gets back in line, tucks behind Adam King. King still maintaining that P4 position. Cunningham, does he have anything in it? Is he going to be able to make the move? King lining himself back up, regaining his senses, trying to build a gap between that lovely Ford GT and the Mustang. As we have an oval on oval battle. Looks like Jace Wright has become incredibly close. That might have been a slight off track for Bronson Turner. Jace all the way on the outside, sending it. Bronson Turner able to maintain that inside line. Bronson Turner keeping it tight and able to make that move stick. Oh, we have side by side between Jace Wright and Turner Johnson. Bronson Turner still ahead. These three cars going right at each other's throats, trying to get that P1 position. Bronson Turner trying to keep that P1 position, get his first race win here at Trackalicious. Turner Johnson looking on the inside as Jace Wright tries to make a move on Bronson Turner, but it is not quite enough. They are back into their formation. P1, Bronson Turner. P2, Jace Wright. P3 in a McLaren sandwich with Turner Johnson in the back of the top three positions here. Again, slightly off for Jace Wright. Now a whole second gap between Bronson Turner and Jace Wright. Focus, focus, focus. You have done all the work. Everything that you have set out to do. You have wrapped the gift. You have gotten the ribbon. All you have to do is tie the bow on top. And that is what Bronson Turner will be wanting to do. Jace Wright continuing to be under incredible amounts of pressure from Turner Johnson behind. As yet again, Bronson Turner is faced with some lap traffic ahead. Incredible battle. Some breathing room, but not much. As we've seen, the gap just isn't enough for people to be able to relax. You relax a little bit, and these two sharks right behind are going to come. They'll smell the blood and charge at it. Charge at that P1 position as they are eager to do. The gap now closed down to a little bit less than a second. Slightly under a second now. Turner Johnson dive on the inside, making Jace Wright think about it, but decides the better. Didn't have quite enough of an overdrive to make that move work. Tucks back in, decides to take another chance at another point in time. Again, incredibly impressed by Turner Johnson's patience and willingness to wait, willingness to pick the right move. Ooh, that was a bit of a sketchy situation, but again, here we are. Bronson Turner, P1, Jace Wright, P2, Turner Johnson, P3, as Jace's Ferrari is in a McLaren sandwich. Bronson Turner maximizing every inch of that exit. Driving down to turn 10. As he's pushing his throttle pedal deeper and deeper, as deep as he possibly can, into the mat. It does not go any faster, although I know he wishes it would. Looking behind this McLaren as the Ferrari and the other McLaren menacingly trying to close the gap down to 0.7, 0.6 seconds. They are closing in on him. They are closing in on him. What an incredible view as these two cars continue to chase down this lead car. With likely only 2 or 3 laps to go, it is entirely in Bronson Turner's hands. Entirely. Has a good bit of track ahead clear track ahead. And continues to focus, continues to lay lap after lap and ensure that he does not lose this final position with several laps left in the race. Again, Jace Wright and Turner Johnson right back at his tailpipes. They just seem to have a bit more pace than Bronson does, or Bronson's just taking it conservatively to make sure he doesn't make any big mistakes. Like we said before, he does have charge of the race. He does have command, being ahead of the other two. He can lead, he can guide. He is the deciding factor. It is up to Bronson Turner to really decide whether he is able to maintain this lead position or not, as Jace Wright continues to hunt him down, as Turner Johnson continues to hunt him down, as there are only probably one more lap to go, as we are in the penultimate lap here with less than a minute remaining in the race at the conclusion of this sentence. Into the final corner, into the last lap. Jace Wright 0.6 seconds behind Bronson Turner and 0.4 seconds ahead of Turner Johnson. The Turners here, not only in a McLaren sandwich, but also in a Turner sandwich, as we have Mrs. Turner here cheering on the husband, cheering on the man who's come in here for the first iRacing race here at Trackalicious, wanting to take that top step, hasn't put a foot wrong so far, is in the final lap. Is he going to be able to do it? Looks like we have a yellow flag car up ahead. There is a slow car up ahead. Hopefully it doesn't play a role in this battle, as we have these guys right by each other, bumper to bumper, only half a second between the three. As Bronson Turner continues to charge ahead, the Ferrari ducking out of the way into the carousel might have been a bit of an inconvenient spot to be. Looks like that Ferrari is out of fuel. Oh no! Where did Jace Wright go? He's back. Okay, there was a bit of a flash. Must have been a connection issue, but looks like Bronson Turner going into the final corner, and Bronson Turner bringing home the McLaren of Stooge Racing into the victory of his first iRacing race here at Trackalicious. Bronson Turner nails it and wins here at Summit Point, with P2 going to Jace Wright and P3 to Turner Johnson. What an incredible race. Incredible show put on by these guys. Let's go down into the grid a little bit farther down. Adam King taking P4, Jacob Cunningham P5, Robert Brunner coming up in P6 with 9 positions gained. Cody Wassam, disappointment, I'm sure, as we are one day we will see the win by Cody Wassam, and hoping to really understand what happened. Why did he not pit when the what is it called? The slow car thing. What do you call the slow car thing that goes slow and makes the cars go slowly? The safety car. That's what it is. Oh goodness. What an incredibly entertaining race. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hope everybody enjoyed that. As we hop back into the booth, that was awesome. I really enjoyed that race. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Pato Award, rate Sabrina Carpenter albums. I can honestly say that I don't know if I've heard a single Sabrina Carpenter song, let alone an album. So I'm going to have to let that one go to the rest of the chat. Hopefully they can help you out on that. Richie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you at the next race. I live in a hobbit home. Well, let's see if we can get some of our folks here for an interview. Yes, we can.
Get me.
We have Bronson Turner, we have Jace Wright, and we have Turner Johnson here in the booth with us. Gentlemen, what an incredible race. I want to start with Turner Johnson. Turner, how was that race for you from the position that you're coming in? Remind me, what position did you won the last race, right?
Yeah, somehow pull off the win last race. Started P7, or sorry, I started P2 in this race, where I started P7 last week. And this race started P2. We had a good scrap. Safety car came out. I took tires and fuel. So when we were under yellow, we were wondering about fuel and all that. And then I thought it was a bad move at first and pit under yellow, and then it ended up being enough to get the end. But yeah, I took tires, and Bronson, Jace, it looks like they didn't, and they got out in front of me, and that's all she wrote till the end. But it was like a battle the whole time, of just sweatiness. It was one of the best battles I've had on track in a long time, and I do a lot of racing, so that was quite enjoyable. Thanks for putting this on.
I could tell you from our perspective, it was incredibly entertaining. You guys put on such a phenomenal show and such great racing between the three of you. And Jace, I'm going to come to you now because iRacing isn't something that you've done a lot of. So I'm curious to know how you've been feeling in it, how all the pressure that you've been under, winning the first race, you're doing okay in the second race, but being in such a strong position in the third race, sandwiched between two strong iRacing drivers. How was that race for you?
Very sweaty. I honestly wasn't, like, after the pit stop, I thought I messed up after the pit stop as well, because where I came out, I saw everyone peeling off, and I was able to get an overtake on the Casey Shooty pretty early on. So, I mean, as far as pressure, it was a lot, coming off of a win. I didn't race in the second race because I didn't have Daytona, but here, this is a track I've never been to. It's my first time here. Like, tonight was the first time driving here, and it was pretty fun. Definitely one of the better races I've had on iRacing.
I mean, you guys, like I said, put on an incredible show. It was super fun to watch. And we got to come to you, Stooch Racing's own Bronson Turner, team principal, coming in after a big hiatus at Trackalicious with a fireworks of a display, taking P1. Bronson, welcome back. How are you doing?
Dude, all I can say is the theme of the night is sweaty. I think all of us have said that. It was a blast out there. Yeah, I don't even know what to say, honestly. Just that was probably the most pressure I felt in a long time. Probably the most fun race I've had in iRacing generally. Yeah, good, clean racing, so much fun. That last stint, I didn't take tires, and it felt like I was driving on ice or in the water. It was so slick out there, like couldn't keep it together. I thought for sure these two were going to get me, and I don't know, somehow managed to get lucky and hang on there at the end. I think had we had 3 more laps, it would have been really tough to hang on to that position. I mean,
that was the right call. Ultimately, right? You took the top step. You are on the top step, and that's what all that matters. So, again, such an incredible race to watch from you guys. Really great performance, and Bronson, we had Lady Turner in the chat here cheering you on. So what an incredible performance, and you have put on a show, and as if you haven't impressed her enough, another win to show the lady. With all the skills that you already have, adding a win, an iRacing win here at Trackalicious on top of that, I'm sure is going to be one of the most impressive things for her.
Yeah, hey, you're too kind. I think I might bring you around with me to be my hype man all the time. No, thanks again, Eric, and everybody at Trackalicious for putting this on. What an event. So much fun. Hoping to see more iRacing in the future and more good battles with these guys.
By the way, a little side note. Apparently, your lady and my lady are collaborating a Mrs. race team. So we've got that to look forward to and figure out how we're gonna sort that out. So just a heads up. I think that'd be super fun. If you guys don't already know, we do swap races that we've done in ACC where we have our significant others or family members or friends that have never driven sim racing or done sim racing before hop in and do some racing with us. So maybe it's about time to run another one and have the misses challenge each other. But back to the racing, guys, incredible. Bronson with the win. Anyone you want to thank? You get the privilege to do so this week.
Oh man, I mean, I guess I got to thank the wife first off for being in the chat, being supportive. I got to thank Trackalicious. Obviously, everybody here is awesome. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Oh, my SR Motorsports crew, everybody that hopefully we'll be bringing more people to Trackalicious for some good iRacing. So yeah, that's probably the list. And of course, the Michelin's for keeping hooked up on the day.
And hooked up they did. Just enough. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. Thank you, Bronson. Thank you, Jace. Thank you, Turner. Your guys' names made it a little difficult to commentate today, but that was a fun one for sure. And appreciated the tight racing that you guys had and the clean racing at that. Incredible performance. And we will be back next week at Sebring. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it from me, Eric Lacostian here at Trackalicious, and we will be looking to rate someone. Let's see who we can find out in the Twitch world and send it over. I think we got someone running some Nürburgring here. Here we go. Well, thank you so much for being a part of the stream. Really appreciate it. Hope everybody had a good time. Look forward to seeing you back end, and keep your eyes open. We are literally on the verge of announcing our next season's championships. Some more iRacing, some incredible ACC stuff coming up, and look forward to have more races out there. For now, I'm Eric at Eric Lacostian from Trackalicious, and hope to see you next time. See you.